AFR On Demand is brought to you by Breck Golf. Try Beaver Creek today, just 20 minutes from downtown Baton Rouge in the Zachary area. They've got a PGA Tour driving range, a short game practice area, 30 to 40-yard practice shots. It's a great place to chip and putt and practice if you don't have time for a full round. Book your tee time today, golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride!
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. We're live today from Marucci Hitter's house here on Seaganeer Airline in Baton Rouge. Alondra's on site, Muse Pauly back in studio, and thrilled to have you hanging out with us here. Remember, if you missed anything, AFR On Demand, presented by Breck Golf. Book your tee time at golf.breck.org. The LSU women's basketball team is playing senior night tonight, 5 o'clock tip. So right about now, they're getting underway with LSU and Tennessee. Flaugier senior night. We'll keep you posted how it's going. Tigers are 24-4. Outside shot still at a 1 seed in the NCAA tournament, and they're the number 6 ranked team in the country right now. Tennessee having a very uncharacteristic Tennessee season at 16-10, sort of falling on hard times a little bit there. So Tigers in what should be a packed house and a great night. We'll see how that goes. We'll keep you posted as it moves along. Jay Johnson gave an interview to Glenn Guilbeau over at Tiger Rag. And a few of his quotes in this piece, I think, are so illustrative of the challenge that athletic directors and university administrators have in this era of college athletics, meaning the rev share era. And listen, you've heard me say this a bunch, that, and this isn't an LSU problem, to be clear, this is an everybody problem, where you're seeing expenses accelerate faster than revenue. When rev share went into play, everybody, boom, added a $20 million line item to their budget. Very few athletic departments actually make money to begin with, and then everyone added a $20 million line item to that budget because if you want to compete, you have to. And so as expenses are accelerating faster than revenue, you can't just go find $20 million in revenue. You see athletic departments finding ways maybe to tighten the belt a little bit, and then finding creative revenue streams. It's why I was so bullish talking with our Woodside Energy friends. What an incredible commitment on that revenue stream. Listen, you may not want a jersey patch. You may be a traditionalist. But wouldn't you rather win? And when you have a willing partner that's a great company that is so thrilled to be a representative and extension of your brand and wants to wrap their arms around you, it was done the right way. That's awesome. It's why we talked about LSU being sort of first of its kind with their Nike deal, and Venture Global putting their logo on the field. I mean, those things are so important. You're trying to find new revenue streams. Heck, Clay Harris, his title at LSU is Chief Revenue Officer. His job is go find creative ways to generate new revenue. That is literally that man's job. And so in that culture, all of these athletic directors and administrators then have to determine, how do we allocate the funds we do have? And sometimes the question comes down to, what do you want to be good at? So Jay Johnson in this interview, as they're talking about this, just remember, $20.5 million is the revenue share number. Football is getting 75% of that. Men's basketball gets 15% of that. Women's basketball gets 5%. And then all the other sports combine to share that 5%. So LSU baseball is getting less than $1 million of revenue share. That ain't enough to build a championship roster. So Jay Johnson in this interview said, quote, it's a really hard topic. What I'm going to say is schools are going to decide what sports they want to excel in. Y'all, Mississippi State, and I don't think this is public anywhere, but I think you know by now I'm well enough connected in a lot of these conversations since the beginning of NIL that you can choose to believe me when I tell you this number or not. Mississippi State's committing $3.5 million of rev share to baseball. Boom. Every year, 3.5 for baseball. Rev share. They ain't going to be good in anything else. Football is going to get it. Men's basketball is going to get it. Baseball is going to get it. That's it. Nobody else is getting the darn thing. That's worth noting. They have decided what they want to be good at. When you look at LSU, men's basketball getting 15%, women's basketball getting 5%, you're deciding that you want to be good in women's basketball. So what does that leave for baseball? That's the conundrum. Not me saying it. It's Jay Johnson saying it. Schools are going to decide what they want to be good at. Jay was asked, quote, of if LSU's begun doing that, deciding what they want to be good at. Quote, tough question. All I'm going to say is schools are going to have to decide what sports they want to be really good in. And there are some schools that are all in on baseball, and we need to be one of those schools. We are not there yet. Not me saying it. The two-time national championship winning head baseball coach at LSU is saying, some schools are all in on baseball. We need to be one of those schools. We're not there yet. Jay Johnson wants to win, man. That's all he wants. He wants to win at LSU forever. And I want that too. I've told y'all. If I had the Powerball, I'm not giving any money to football. They're always going to have money. I'm not giving money to men's basketball. You know what I would do? I'd go make sure Jay Johnson never leaves and wins 1 million national championships. Because I love baseball. I love that program. I think everything else will be accounted for. And I want to make sure that dude stays here forever and wins forever. He was also asked about the process of, this was Verge Osbury, when asked about the pecking order. Quote, don't know yet. That's going to be over time and about who's winning and doing well and who's not. When you prioritize these things, you got to sit there and say, hey, look, what are we going to be great at? What do we have to be great at? And that's the football team. So they have to be great at football. So we know football is going to get the lion's share of the money, and it should. It should always be that way. We haven't even talked about gymnastics, which won a national championship a few years ago. What do you do with Jay Clark? The problem is, can you be successful at everything based on what it costs? I'm here to tell you, and by the way, another quote from Verge Osbury. Y'all, when we talk about the basketball conversation here about Matt McMahon and do you retain him, and I keep telling you there's not a consensus. Here's a quote from your athletic director. Quote, there is NIL donor fatigue, ticket prices fatigue from our customers. We can't just keep going up and asking donors for this and that. We're straining the whole system. This system we're sitting in today is not sustainable, not at all. Not me saying it. The athletic director saying it. So I'm telling you, they're so over-leveraged, and y'all want to fire the basketball coach, which is going to cost another $11 million. Where are you going to get it? That's the problem. Oh, by the way, and you have a baseball coach that's won 2 titles in the last 3 years saying they're not even close yet to being a program that actually is prioritizing baseball. I'm going to tell you this again. The challenge in this era, the biggest challenge in this era, is going to be finding new revenue streams, creative revenue streams. I'm not saying NASCAR up the jersey, because I don't even know that could do all of it. But what I'm telling you is, you've seen a couple of places like Michigan State and Utah do private equity deals. By the way, I referenced a Texas Tech booster I'm talking about who mentioned private equity. Talk about that coming up in just a minute. But if you want to keep winning, you got to pay. And the question is, how do you pay? Who pays for it? How do you pay for it? Well, the answer is who can be a leader in finding new creative revenue streams. That is the answer. And you're not just going to keep going. Verge said it. You can't just keep going up on ticket prices and keep asking boosters to keep just hemorrhaging money every year. Like, you can't go spend $54 million to buy out Brian Kelly after spending $17 million to buy out Ed Ogeron and paying $91 million for Lane Kiffin and $50 million for this roster, whatever the number's going to end up being, or whatever. And then here's $11 million to buy out Matt McMahon. You can't spend all this money for coaches not to coach. So how do you get spending in order, and how do you find new creative revenue streams? Whoever figures that out is who's going to win at scale in all sports. And that's the challenge that everyone from Verge and Clay Harris up to Dr. Roos, the new president of the system, are going to have to figure out. And it's going to be, I don't have the answer, by the way. Like, there's no punchline. I don't have the answer for you here today. I'm not smart enough to figure that out. That's what all these guys, men and women who run these athletic departments, that's their charge to go figure this out. You know, and maybe it goes up all the way to the governor. I don't know. He likes to be involved in a lot of this stuff. My guess is he will be. But who can find new creative ways to generate revenue? Real revenue. That's who's going to win in the future in this era. Better figure it out fast, especially for baseball. Because if Texas A&M fires Michael Early this year, you don't think they're going to come after Jay Johnson? Come on. You don't think, like, you really don't think that would happen? You don't think if Texas A&M fires Michael Early, they wouldn't come to Baton Rouge and tell Jay Johnson you got an open checkbook? Come on. I don't think he wants to leave. Don't make him make that decision. All right. It's after further review. We're glad you're with us here at Marucci's Hitter's House, the official bat of Major League Baseball. Come on out, y'all. 24/7 access when you're a member. How cool is that? You want to come by in the middle of the night, holiday, weekend? Easy. Come scan your key card, get into the private cages, take your hacks, throw behind an L screen. Awesome, man. Love it here. Great spot. Thrilled to be here. Baton Rouge, Lafayette, New Orleans. Indoor cages, the latest gear. It's all here at Marucci's Hitter's House. We're fired up to be here today. We appreciate them for being so hospitable and hosting us when we're here at Marucci's Hitter's House on Segan in Baton Rouge. All right, let me knock out a quick break. Thursday show is presented by Decision Critical. When we come back, I am going to circle back, by the way, that Texas Tech booster I was talking about. But I do want to talk about Derek Carr, who apparently is really, really, really serious about unretiring. I'll give you the latest next on AFR.
After further review.
Hey, we're brought to you by Clegg's Nursery with 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. Segan near Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. Tell you every day to buy local and shop local. As a matter of fact, Clegg's right there. Like, literally right there. I mean, we're talking about, like, from where I'm sitting, 2 o'clock across the street. Boom, Clegg's right there on the Segan Lane location, right near Airline. Love going in there. It's where we go get our Christmas tree. It's where Erica and I go and buy our flowers for our spring and summer planting every year around the pool in the outdoor area. And listen, whenever we need mulch or soil, bag or bulk, we get it there. They have great garden decor. If you're into garden flags or tuned wind chimes or bird feeders or hummingbird feeders, they got everything. Oh, and they also have the friendliest, most knowledgeable staff, and they're local. So bypass the big box store. Next time you're thinking, I'm going to go to the orange or blue box store, don't. Keep it local. Go to Clegg's Nursery.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
A big shout out as always to Blazia and all our friends over at Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. They're just awesome. And I've told you the story before about how we had to do some of Drew's blood labs, and the nurses came to our home at 9 p.m. to draw his blood labs so he could do it at a place where he was comfortable. He'd already gotten his sleepy sleep meds. He's not an easy stick or blood draw with a lot of special needs, but They're awesome. It's whatever. That's why they say it's not just healthcare. It's healthcare for your lifestyle. And their nurses are just the best. Every nurse is handpicked by Blasia. So schedule that discovery phone call today. DecisionCriticalBR.com. DecisionCriticalBR.com. Last week, there was a report that Derek Carr was considering unretiring. He and his brother David obviously do a podcast, and he's hinted at that in the past. Well, now it seems to really be gaining some momentum. Jordan Schultz, NFL insider, on Thursday reported, according to sources. I'll read the tweet. In talking to teams in the QB market, there's a strong belief former Saints quarterback Derek Carr is very serious about unretiring and returning to the NFL in 2026. Carr's rights belong to the Saints, but teams with winning aspirations have real interest in the former four-time Pro Bowler. To which I would reply, why would teams with winning aspirations have real interest in the former four-time Pro Bowler? Derek Carr has never won anything of significance. He got the Raiders to the playoffs twice, never won a playoff game. He is, as I have said over and over and over again, from literally the very first time the Saints signed him and every subsequent time they restructured or tried to extend him, he is a lower mid-tier, upper bottom-tier quarterback in the NFL at his best. He is not elite. He will never win anything of significance. I know you could point out Sam Darnold. Great best roster in the NFL around him. If there's a team with a comparable roster that wants to bring Derek Carr in, maybe they could be a playoff team and go on a run, but he ain't going to be the one to get you there. He's not going to elevate a team to get you there. So all that said, I'm tickled with where the Saints are with Tyler Shuck. My perspective was draft a quarterback every year until you hit. If you're not going to invest a top of round one pick, if you're not going to trade up to go draft a franchise quarterback in round one, then just keep drafting a quarterback every year until you hit on the Dak in round 4 or the Russ in round 3 or the Cousins in round 5 or the Purdy in round 7, whatever. So the Saints were doing that. They drafted Jake Haener, they drafted Spencer Rattler, and ultimately they drafted Tyler Shuck, and they hit. Now he's a second-round pick, but it appears as though they have hit on Tyler Shuck. Small sample size, I get it, but all of us are really optimistic about it. So Derek Carr is not going to be your starting quarterback. He's not going to be on your roster if he comes out of retirement, but you have his rights. So I'll say it again. You want Derek Carr to come out of retirement because some team is going to give you something for him. Just think about Minnesota this year. J.J. McCarthy certainly didn't play well enough. They needed some option, some veteran option. What about the Cincinnati Bengals this year? Joe Burrow gets injured. The Bengals go 1-8 without Joe Burrow. Derek Carr would have been a much better option than what they had there in Cincinnati. I'm not saying Derek Carr would have gotten them through the playoffs and won, but Derek Carr would have been a better option in Cincinnati this year when Burrow got hurt than the options they had. So there is a spot in the NFL for Derek Carr if he wants to play. He's just not going to be a starter that leads a playoff caliber team to and through the playoffs ever. He's just not capable of that. As a veteran backup, sure. And if I'm New Orleans, he's not coming back to your locker room to be a veteran backup, so you're going to trade him. So you have two options. Derek Carr stays retired, or he comes back to the NFL and you trade him and get something for him. So he either doesn't play and you get nothing, or he comes back to the NFL and you get something. I don't care if it's literally the Mr. Irrelevant pick. It's something. It's some asset whereby you can get younger and less expensive. So, yes, I would come on back, Derek Carr. I would love it if he comes back. And he apparently is very serious about it. Now, as we start to learn more, we'll kind of figure what teams might be in the mix. The usual suspects sort of make sense. Same ones we're talking about for guys like Kirk Cousins. If it's the Jets or the Vikings or maybe the Raiders, there are options there, so we'll see what they may be. Maybe a Derek Carr reunion with Clint Kubiak in Las Vegas, who's the new head coach there, perhaps. But for New Orleans, I think the other part of this question is about the Saints' backup quarterback. And right now that's Spencer Rattler, but there continues to be a lot of talk about Rattler potentially being the Saints having suitors for Rattler as a trade candidate, and there might be a team willing to trade assets for Spencer Rattler. Again, even if that's a late day 3 pick. I've talked about this, that I would rather a veteran quarterback as a backup and get an asset for Rattler. So a veteran quarterback and an asset in exchange for Rattler. And so Kyler Murray is one worth keeping an eye on. I only bring this up today because I got emailed the odds for Kyler Murray's next team. in 2026. And the Jets are the betting favorite, followed by the Vikings, Steelers, Dolphins, Falcons, Colts, Giants, and then Saints. Now, at plus 1,200, so they're way down the list. But by the way, Chiefs, Eagles also on the list. Again, veteran backup for Super Bowl winning quarterbacks there with Mahomes and Hurts. But the Saints are on the list. And if nothing else, what that tells you is that there is a belief that the Saints, two-part belief that the Saints could move on or could trade Spencer Rattler if there's a market. So that's one, right? That there could be a market for Spencer Rattler. And two, that the Saints, if that happens, would be looking for a veteran backup quarterback, which, I endorse. I'm not going to continue repeating myself on that. But yes, I would rather have a veteran backup quarterback than a guy like Rattler who has yet to win a game as a starter. So now, specifically with Kyler Murray, I don't know that he's necessarily the guy. Look, he's going to get released by Arizona, and they're going to take a massive, dead cap number. But there's pros and cons to Kyler Murray. If you're arguing that he's washed, I don't necessarily disagree with you. But people might have said the same thing about Sam Darnold, and he went to 5 different teams, and now he's a Super Bowl winner. Kyler Murray's only 28 years old, y'all. He'll be 29 in August. So he's not even yet 30. He has had a significant knee injury. But at his best in the NFL this year, at his best in the NFL, he has been a good player. At his best. I mean, in Arizona early in his career with Kingsbury, he had in the COVID year, he threw for 3,900, just under 4,000 yards in that COVID year, 26 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. And then they started the 2021 season well, and he tore his ACL. And he just never got back on track. 3-8 in 22, 3-5 in 23, 8-9 in 2024. This was supposed to be the year that they took that next step, and it just didn't go well. 2-3 in his 5 starts. So I don't know that Murray is the one that I would invest in, but I would very much be in favor of New Orleans investing in a more veteran backup quarterback behind Tyler Shuck. Maybe it's not Kyler Murray. Maybe it's someone like Kirk Cousins, but I feel like he's going to look for a place to start. But when I think it through and I look around the league and seeing guys like Joe Flacco, I'm not saying specifically Joe Flacco, but a guy that's a Super Bowl winner, has won a Super Bowl MVP, has been a perennial playoff quarterback, as a guy to be another set of eyes for your young quarterback, a good mentor and a better backup option than what you have, yeah, I'm going to be in favor of that. I can't tell you definitively as I pound on the table who that guy is that I would want the Saints to go after, but I would rather them trade Spencer Rattler, get an asset for him, and sign a more veteran, experienced, accomplished free agent quarterback. See what they do. All right, it's After Further Review. Glad you're hanging out with us here on this Thursday edition of AFR, live from Marucci's Hitter's House. We're brought to you by our friends over at First South Farm Credit. If you're thinking of buying land, your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. Go to firstsouthland.com, firstsouthland.com, firstsouthland.com. You maybe want that recreational property for hunting, First South Farm Credit. Maybe you want to buy a whole 2,000 acres in Idaho and go up there and do what people in Idaho do when they have 2,000 acres. They farm in Idaho? I don't know. They have potatoes. Potatoes. Maybe you want to go be a potato farmer in Idaho. You can do it. First South Farm Credit can help you buy the land. Or maybe you want 100 acres in Tangipahoa Parish and you could build your family's dream home on the North Shore and do the work in New Orleans in the city and live the rural lifestyle. First South Farm Credit can make that happen. But start at firstsouthland.com, firstsouthland.com. Okay, y'all, about 30 minutes to go. Otter will be here in about 15 minutes from right now. Ladies are underway over there at the Maravich Center with LSU and Tennessee. Senior night for Flaugier and the Tigers as they wrap up their home schedule tonight with the Tennessee Lady Vols and, I guess, the Volunteers. Tennessee with the early lead. Just under 9 minutes to play in the second quarter. It's Tennessee 22-18 on top of LSU. Maybe the emotion of senior night. Sometimes you see that out of a rhythm, a little bit of a slow start on senior night. So Tigers trail early, down by 6, 24-18 to Tennessee with 8:35 to play in the first half. We'll keep you posted as they move along there at the Maravich Center. All right, it is After Further Review. Let me knock out a quick break. When we come back, one prominent booster has weighed in and weighed against the possibility of the SEC and the Big Ten pooling their media rights. I'll dive into that as we continue. We're glad you're with us here on AFR.
AFR.
Hey, if you've ever thought about having a pool, make today the day you stop thinking about it and you start actually taking action steps to make this a reality. Duplessis Builders can make it happen. DuplessisBuilders.net, DuplessisBuilders.net, DuplessisBuilders.net. And if you want, you might think I'll call them tomorrow. No, do it right now. You don't have to call. Go to the website, DuplessisBuilders.net, and this is why. So on the homepage of the website, when you go there, you'll see it. There's a Pick Your Pool button. So Derek has 11 different pool. You can do anything custom, but they have 11 different pool designs. You choose what design you want, and you can go through and pick. Your tiling, your coping, do you want fountains, water features, do you want LED lights, any of that stuff. You can choose all of your finishes. You can do it right now. You can even pay for it right now online if you want. Starting as low as $48,000. And financing is available. So what you waiting on? DuplessisBuilders.net. Check them out online. It's DuplessisBuilders.net.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at DecisionCriticalVR.com.
I know that this bores some of you. I know it. And I always say I do the show not for me, I do the show for you. There's things that I would love to talk about that I don't because I don't think it would be of great interest. Like last Saturday, I got in a car, drove to Houston to watch UFC Fight Night because if the UFC's ever that close, I'm going. Period. Paragraph. Erica knows it. I'm gone. I didn't talk about Fight Night on AFR because I know that doesn't have big wide range scale. So sometimes, though, there's things I'm going to sort of force upon you, even though I know the masses may not care, because I think it's important to know this sort of stuff. Because it's effectively like shining a light. It's like you're walking. Imagine if you're walking a trail at night. Like you're in the forest. You're walking a trail at night. And you're doing your best to walk. Like you know there's a trail there, but you don't know what's ahead. Well, what I'm doing is effectively getting out a flashlight and shining it on the trail ahead so you can kind of see your way a little bit, like what's coming. And so the SEC and the Big Ten commissioned a study to determine what the finances would look like if leagues pooled their media rights. So right now, the SEC has its own media rights deal. The Big Ten has its own media rights deal. The ACC has its own deal and so on. Well, what they did was say, what if we pool, like we all put our media rights together, pooled our media, what would that look like? Because some have argued, and I have had this conversation, by the way, with economists. I'm not going to bore you with the super detail, but there are some who believe that pooling media rights is going to be the way to save college sports. Because the lesser leagues, it's the only way they'll be able to survive in this era. I mean, we're sitting here talking about places like LSU with $200 million in revenue, trying to find creative ways of revenue to stay afloat. Like, what do you think the other schools in the state, Tech, McNeese, Lafayette, Monroe, like, what do you think they're doing? Now, you know me, I'm an elitist. I don't care about those athletic programs. Not a lick. I don't care about them. I want them to win because I love the state, and if they're playing, I'll pull for them. But if they go away tomorrow, my life ain't affected. I'm good. That's going to anger some of y'all. I don't care. But what was interesting is that this commission, this study that they commissioned, suggests that it would actually, pooling media rights would actually generate less revenue than if the leagues continue to sell their own rights. So the study was released and shared with the Associated Press, and they estimate the rates for like the SEC, the Big Ten, the ACC, the Big 12 are increasing the value of their media rights that outperform the projection that some schools said could be as much as $7 billion over the next decade if they pool their media rights. The study says, quote, The proposal not only fails to produce more revenue than the current conference structure, but also introduces a dangerously unworkable model and new risks to the sports landscape. So that projection, right, that $7 billion projection was the brainchild of Cody Campbell. Cody Campbell is a billionaire, and he's the head of the Board of Regents at Texas Tech. And he's established a nonprofit called Saving College Sports. So they are effectively calling sports broken, and Campbell says he acknowledges that the unspooling of TV contracts, having various expiration dates and so on, would take years. So they're trying to create this independent entity to try to maximize revenue with options that would be in line with a reworked Sports Broadcasting Act, and that would all be done within about 10 to 12 years. In this, by the way, there's a long Twitter post by Cody Campbell if you want to go read it. I'm not going to read the whole thing for you. It's a long Twitter post. But he says, of Sankey and Tony Petitti, the Big Ten, they're the ones that commissioned the study. Quote, the posture of these two commissioners indicates that they do not care about the fate of the other conferences or smaller schools, nor do they care about the life-changing opportunity provided to the women and to the athletes in our Olympic sports. By the way, my hand's in the air too. I don't care. I just told you that. I don't care about the smaller sports and the smaller schools. I don't care. I have said for many years, treat it like a club sport and be self-sufficient. There's no reason you don't have to have sports. Like, sports can still remain, these other non-revenue sports. They just have to pay for themselves. You want new uniforms? Have a fundraiser. Have a bake sale. You want to go travel? Don't fly private. Get on a bus. Instead of staying downtown at the Marriott Marquis, stay at a Holiday Inn. Like, there's ways to do it, man. It's been done forever. And by the way, if you're a human who lives a life with a family, you probably operate under a budget where you live within your means. College athletics, I'll say it again. Trev Albert, the A&M athletic director, said it best. I use it all the time. College athletics, for years, has not had a revenue problem. It has had a spending problem. That's been the issue. Maybe pooling media rights would help. I don't know. We'll wait and see. I'm only bringing, and again, I'll come back to the point where I don't have the answer. Like, I don't have the be-all, end-all, definitive bottom-line answer, because there's a lot of people way smarter than me that they can't agree on all this stuff, and they don't know where all this is going to go. But all this to say, what this illustrates, the same as the comments we talked about with Jay Johnson earlier, if you missed it in the interview he gave Glenn Gilbo, the Advocate, saying schools are going to have to decide what sports they want to be good at. And LSU is not there right now where they've decided they want to be good in baseball, because LSU's not committing enough of its rev share to baseball every year to be good. And you can't, there's not enough money, like in a capped rev share, to give football what it needs, plus men's basketball and women's basketball 5%, and gymnastics and baseball. You can't. There's not enough money. So you got to go find new revenue streams. How do you do that? Well, that's what pooling broadcast rights is, maybe one creative potential solution. What if we did it together? Could we generate more money to be able to pay our players and our coaches and all this sort of stuff? But then what's the net effect of that? They can't even agree on that. I don't have the answer. I'm not smart enough to have the answer. There's really smart people who will figure this out in time. What I'm trying to make you aware of is that the residual of this conversation, which you don't even need to know all the details of, which is fine, is how you start to see things affected, like, can you retain a coach? Does Tony Vitello go to professional baseball because he's not sure that it's sustainable in college to him to build a roster the way he has, because Tennessee's buy-in in baseball isn't what it is at other places? Jay Johnson making the comments that he did about LSU not being committed enough to baseball. What about LSU football and support staff? They just dumped a bunch of money into this roster. I asked Gordon McKernan at the garage 2 days ago, is this sustainable? Can you do it again? And he just basically laughed out loud when I asked him, is this sustainable? He said, none of it's sustainable. So great, you went and spent $40+ million on this year's roster. You think you're doing that again next year? No way. So what does that look like? I don't know. Nobody does. Say it again. They're all trying to find new ways to generate new revenue. So from your perspective, the thing I would tell you is if you're sitting there and you want your team to win, when you hear about new revenue streams, don't push back against them. Embrace them, because it's the only way you're going to keep winning. All right, it's after further review. Did I do a good job with that? I don't think I did a good job with that. Making that kind of palatable. I'm not here trying to do econ, 4,000 level classes here or anything. Just maybe using a story to illustrate why it's super relevant right now. All right, we're brought to you by Shawbills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com. Locations all over South Louisiana. One actually just up the road from, I told you they're everywhere. I mean, if I went right out of Marucci up to Airline, hung a right there on the service road, boom, Shawbills right there. They're everywhere. Name brand tires at wholesale prices, and they can take care of your vehicle. They keep you coming back year after year. So if you need the oil change, tire rotated, check engine lights on, brakes squeaking, maybe taking off for a vacation soon. You want to get that vehicle checked up before you hit the road, take it to Shawbills. Any of the locations, ShawBillsTire.com to schedule service, shop tires, see deals. It's all there. ShawBillsTire.com. ShawBillsTire.com. It's Shawbills, where we keep you rolling. Okay, y'all, one segment to go here. We'll wrap it up. Jimmy will be here for Autolocks. We'll find out what we're betting on tonight. Get you a quick update here on the women's basketball game as the Vols and the Tigers over at the Maravich Center. There is 7:29 to play in the first half, tied at 24. So the ladies go. No, forgive me. I'm sorry. Forgive me. It just updated. 3:15 to play in the first half, and now LSU is up 5, 38-33. So LSU leading Tennessee 38-33 with 3 minutes to go before halftime. We'll keep you posted. All right, we're here at Marucci Hitter's House on Segan Lane in Baton Rouge, and thrilled to have you aboard with us. We got one break left. When we come back, Jimmy will be here for Autolock. Stick around with us. It's AFR.
AFR.
If you're thinking of selling your home, call Darren James. Get your home sold. Call my friend, Darren James. 335-7666, 335-7666, 335-7666, or agent225.com, agent225.com. That's the website. Tell you about the website all the time. It's a great place to start. Incredible free resource as well. You could use the home value tool to find out what your home appraises at right now using local market data. But most importantly, if you need to sell your home, remember, 73% of people that list their home for sale by owner end up hiring a realtor. Save yourself time and money. Hire the best. Do it today. Call Darren James and get your home sold. 335-7666, 335-7666, or agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
At River Parish Contractors, their fabrication shop is open 24/7. So any client, you want to go see the progress of any job, pop on in. And they're in reserve, so they're an hour from anywhere. They do work from Chalmette to Baton Rouge. And what that also means is, man, if you work with River Parish Contractors, man, you're going to be home at night. Love talking about River Parish Contractors. rpcontractors.com. rpcontractors.com is where you can learn more. Go visit the shop. It's state-of-the-art. And remember, they fabricate both pipe and structural steel with automation, which is very unique. So check them out at rpcontractors.com, rpcontractors.com. It's a website if you want to learn more about our friends over at River Parish Contractors. Again, rpcontractors.com.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
All right, down the stretch we come. Final segment here on a Thursday edition of AFR. Presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. We got one thing left to do. Let's find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Autolocks.
Autolocks.
All right, time to win some money.
Presented by Total Maintenance AC Repair. Same-day service means you will never sleep hot. 480-1000. We are Total Maintenance.
I think it's safe to say that I won the bet.
Yo, Otter, what up?
What's going on, Matthew?
Another day, another dollar, man. How's your day?
Doing good, man. Sitting over here at Mike Anderson's watching Lady Tigers play right now. So,
Last I saw, they were up 5. How they doing?
Yep, right about the same. So kind of hovering around between 41-37, 129 mark in the second quarter.
All right,
So-
all right. Well, 2-1
that
night
game goes
last
to-
night. The parlay hit, UConn hit,
Yep.
lost with Texas, but a win tonight. Love it. We'll take it.
Yeah, man. Texas was looking so good for so long, too. I mean, played about as good as they could play for 35 minutes, and then Florida flexed their muscles at the end. I thought we were going to have a sweep. So right after this LSU-Tennessee game, you got the one big game, the only Power 5 game tonight. That's the Big Ten, Michigan State, and Purdue. Purdue up to 7.5. I don't know what it is right now, if it's still 7.5, but open 5.5. But this is a pros versus Joes game, man. A lot of the betting public is on Michigan State, but the sharps are on Purdue. And
6.5.
6.5, even better. Very good. So we're going to go with the sharp play tonight and go with the Purdue Boilermakers minus 6.5 at home.
Okay.
Those team has definitely struggled on the road as well. Lose to Minnesota, get routed, some others. So they've had their tough time on the road. Purdue, senior night for the kid Smith, Braden Smith, who got a chance to break Bobby Hurley's all-time assist mark. And we got some Colucci picked as
Let's
well. He put out
go.
a trio. He has been on a heater, so Colucci is back tonight. And Tennessee take the lead, actually, 42-41 with under a minute to go in the first half. But he's got the Montreal Canadiens, the LA Kings, and the New Jersey Devils. So, Devils played last night, with the Olympic star with the game-winning goal. He was addressing the crowd before. A lot to ask for those guys to turn around, but Kings lost last night to the Golden Knights, but they're bouncing back tonight. So Colucci again with the LA Kings, the Montreal Canadiens, and the New Jersey Devils.
All right, Purdue on the hardwood. It's at 6.5. Kings, Canadians, Devils. The picks from Caloche on the ice tonight. Friday, tomorrow, over at Rufino's.
We'll be at Rufino's on Highland Road. Come on by and see us. Barry the bartender. We always have a nice crowd, man, over there. Look, plenty of Lenten specials on this second Friday in Lent tomorrow at Rufino's.
Love it. All right, Otter, good luck. Thank you.
All right, good luck.
All right, man. Be well. We appreciate the time. As always, you can always remember you can get Otter's picks over at LouisianaSports.net if you want to get them early. Hunt always throws those picks up on the website early. So, right at about 3 o'clock, they go up. So, if you want Jimmy's picks early, you can get them there at LouisianaSports.net. A quick reminder about Parish Restoration, parishrestoration.com. Kill mold, remove odor. Tell you all the time you want to sanitize your space. Parish Restoration, they'll come, they'll spray their patented non-toxic dry fog. Super easy. It's cost-effective. It's effective. It's efficient. You can get in and out your home in less than a day, actually. But, man, they can sanitize dry fog any size commercial or industrial facility. If it's schools or doctors' offices or churches or workout facilities, maybe you got the flu bug going around, or maybe it just stinks from sweat or smoke or pet odor or whatever. Parish Restoration can help. ParishRestoration.com. ParishRestoration.com. All right, y'all, we're just about done here. Going to get on down the road, man. We always appreciate our friends at Marucci for hosting us. I love coming over here. It's if you've never been, highly, highly, highly recommend, 10 out of 10, come take the tour. Maybe fathers, sons, daughters, moms, whatever, bring your kids to take the tour. Great for teams, baseball, softball teams, classes. It's such a cool thing to see how the bats, when you turn on a Major League Baseball game, and it's the number one bat in Major League Baseball, and every one of those bats that a Major League Baseball player is using in a game is made in the warehouses behind where I'm sitting. And it is so cool to walk through there and see that whole process, how it goes from a log to a finished product that's being shipped off to the best baseball players in the world. So it's right here in Baton Rouge. What an awesome, awesome thing. And so Hitter's House is great. You can see the Marucci, go take the tour, but also they got the batting cages, they got memberships available, hittershouse.com, hittershouse.com, hittershouse.com. Learn more when you got membership. The more you add, so you have multiple children, more you add, the lesser it is. They get you key card access. You can get into private cages 24/7, 365. It's raining, weekend, holidays. You'll always have access here at Marucci's Hitter's House. So love coming out here to Marucci's Hitter's House. Okay, y'all. Tomorrow, Friday edition of AFR. Muse is going to handle it tomorrow. I'll be at cardiology with Drew. So Drew has his, we're going to go see Drew's heart doctor tomorrow. And so I'll be out, but we'll be back on Monday. So Muse will handle it tomorrow. Get set for some baseball at the box. A busy 4-game and 4-day weekend for LSU with Dartmouth and Northeastern coming into Alec Box Stadium. So looking forward to a good show tomorrow. As for one more quick catch up here on the women's basketball team, they are at the half. All right, so LSU did take back the lead there just before half. So LSU beating Tennessee 43-42 at the half there at the Maravich Center on senior night. The Tigers are wearing gold. There were gold shirts on every seat there at the Maravich Center. So the crowd's wearing gold as well. Looks awesome. If you're not watching, you're getting home, maybe check it out. But Michaela Williams had 8 in the first half. Jada Richard had 7. Mylasia Fulwiley off the bench with 11 points for the Tigers in the first half to lead LSU and actually to lead all scorers there in the first half. So great start for the LSU women's basketball team, 24-4 overall, 10-4 in the SEC. With 2 games left in the regular season, we'll see if they can go on a run in the SEC tournament, maybe make a big push toward the NCAA tournament, possibly still in the running for an outside shot at a number 1 seed before the ladies try to go win national championship number 2 under Kim Mulkey. All right, it's going to do it for us here. Alondra on site, great job as always. Thank you so much. Muse, Paulie, thanks. Y'all have an awesome night. See you tomorrow at 3.
AFR.
Our Lady of the Lake championship health partner of LSU Athletics. OLOLRMC.com/LSU. OLOLRMC.com/LSU. Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, together we roar. And yes, when you watch LSU play on whatever athletic venue, field, court, diamond, whatever, the men and women, the physicians and trainers that care for LSU's athletes, those are Our Lady of the Lake physicians. LSU trusts the lake, and so should you. But when I go see my doctor, I go see Dr. Curtis Chastain, part of the Our Lady of the Lake Men's Health Group. I trust Our Lady of the Lake as well. Drew sees specialists at Our Lady of the Lake Children's Hospital. We trust the lake, and you should as well. Urgent care, lake after hours, it's Our Lady of the Lake. Championship health partner of LSU Athletics. OLOLRMC.com/LSU.